Hello there, my name is Katy and you're watching my channel Superconsole, where today we are looking at 7 things you should know about Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia, heading our way soon to the Nintendo 3DS. Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia is a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden, the second entry in the Fire Emblem series, originally released in March 1992 in Japan on the Famicom system. Gaiden was never released outside of Japan but saw a lot of gameplay innovations improving upon the original FE game, but despite being a commercial success, saw a mixed response from critics and was later compared to Zelda 2 for its short-lived concepts and mechanics which were quickly discarded by later entries in the series. Gaiden is the Japanese term for side story, and the kanji is pretty interesting to look at too, with the 2 onyomi readings as Gai meaning outside and Den as tradition or legend. Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia seems to be trying to stick fairly faithfully to Gaiden, bringing back some of those long lost gameplay mechanics and reverting to a simpler form of tactical RPG gameplay seen in elder Fire Emblem games, so prepare to say goodbye to that weapons triangle you know and love, and hello to a greater sense of challenge than we saw in the likes of Awakening. The story follows 2 young heroes, Arm and Celica, whose narratives intertwine as they fight in a war which has ravaged the nations of Rigel and Zofia in the continent of Valentia, which is in the same world as Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon for the Nintendo DS and Mystery of Emblem on the SNES. Echoes remake brings with it new characters such as Faye and a new villain, as well as a brand new prologue which expands on the childhood relationships of Arm and Celica, and a new ending scene which connects the gameplay directly to Awakening. In Shadows of Valentia, you'll play as both Arm and Celica, commanding individual armies and aiming to reunite Valentia by, each leading their armies to a devastating battles, and maybe even their graves if you're playing with permadeath switched on. The romance and marriage gameplay features first introduced in Awakening has quickly become synonymous with the Fire Emblem series, so recent fans of FE may be disappointed to hear that as per the original Gaiden game, there's no marriage features in Shadows of Valentia either, neither via battlefield support or during relationship development scenes between battles. The game's cast on each side of Arm and Celica's path is reasonably small in comparison to Fates or Awakening 2, so as much as you may be wanting to spend a bit of extra time with characters like the Archer Python or Mercenary Kamui, it just isn't going to happen. On the plus side, support conversations have been added to the game which take place on the battlefield like in GBA FE titles, so you will see a bit of character development in that respect. One of the most notable differences to Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia in comparison to FE games like Awakening and Fates is that you can actually free roam about a 3D dungeon environment in a third-person perspective while controlling Arm or Celica, avoiding encounters, smashing crates and initiating battles in real time before switching to the standard turn-based combat that you're used to. Imagine like how you move in dungeons in Persona before the standard combat scenes start. Likewise with Persona, by ambushing enemies in the dungeon you can gain a first strike, but in turn if an enemy sneaks up behind you, expect to take a hefty amount of damage to your party. There's also a fatigue system, meaning that every time a unit is used in battle their fatigue meter is filled and their max health decreases. You can ease a unit's fatigue by either giving them gifts or purifying them at certain special statues. But no fear, as mentioned, both classic permadeath mode and casual mode with its unit revivals are back, so you can play Shadows of Valentia whichever way suits you best. Personally, I just can't deal with the classic mode's permadeath heartbreak, watching my favourite characters die on the battlefield and never to return. I'll admit it, I'm an FE casual. It may be a remake of a Famicom game, but Shadows of Valentia brings with it new gorgeous anime-style cutscenes to really bring the story to life, produced by animation studio Kara along with its 3D character models. The revised character designs were crafted by Japanese illustrator Hidari, who is known for their work on Koei's Trickiden series and Atelier, as well as the truly awful first-person anime airing this season called Roommate. Japanese language fun fact number 2, Hidari means left side, so the illustrator pseudonym is a nod to the fact that they're actually left-handed. Arm and Celica's designs in particular look great, and I'm glad they didn't stick to the classic designs as seen on Gaiden's box art, which are extremely dated and frankly pretty awful in comparison to designs coming out at the same time, like Akira Toriyama's timeless Dragon Quest designs, or Keiji Inafune's work on Mega Man and Breath of Fire. Hidari was initially scouted to work on Awakening as well as the FE trading card game, but was too busy with work on other products until word on Echoes came up. If you hate reading reams or scrolling text, then rejoice FE fans, as Shadow of Valentia will be the first core FE title to feature full dialogue voice acting, and I stress core because otherwise the Wii U underdog Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE would have already proudly taken that crown. But from what I've seen and heard so far, the English dub really isn't too bad. Here's a quick snippet of it so you can judge for yourself.
The Regalian Emperor would do well to state his intentions. You know what it signifies.
Just as Orm has chosen his path, it would seem you have chosen yours.
There's more to be done than simply fighting the foes laid before us. He's leading the deliverance, isn't he?
Zofia is full of innocent people who are looking for help.
You! Celica has proven she has the strength to make hard choices. Yet what of you?
The game's reception in Japan has been pretty great so far, both critically and commercially. Japanese gaming mag Famitsu scored the game a high total score of 37 out of 40 from its 4 reviewers, split out as 3 9s and a 10. And in terms of sales, on its Japanese release, FE Echoes, Shadows of Valentia became the top selling game of the week after only 3 days on the shelf, selling a whopping 131,668 copies in Japan and outselling 2 other games debuting that day. Although all this sounds pretty positive, I've got my own reservations as to whether Shadows of Valentia will be greeted with such open arms in the West, mainly down to its departure from the mainstay gameplay mechanics seen in recent FE success stories like Awakening and Fates. What do you think about this Gaiden remake? Will you be forking up for a copy come launch day? Let me know in that comment section down below and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more delicious Japanese gaming tidbits, and otherwise I'll see you in the next one. Bye!